Have you ever tried loads and loads of tools just to find calm and even finding things that genuinely help you calm down, find that sense of rest and peace, only to notice maybe a few hours later, maybe even a few minutes later, or the next day that you're right back where you started? I know that process can be so frustrating. And I've talked with so many people who have tried different things. I've tried meditation, I've tried tapping, I've tried inner healing, I've tried mindset renewal practices, and breath helps temporarily, and meditation can help temporarily, prayer can even help temporarily, but they don't ever seem to just stick. And if you've ever practiced different calming tools, but it doesn't seem like it lasts, or maybe it feels like the tool itself is broken, I want to share with you, it doesn't mean that you're broken. And it also might not mean that the tool itself doesn't work. What we're going to do is look at why these tools work, how they work, and what's happening when it feels like it doesn't last. Because what happens in your brain and your body when we're rewiring a cycle is that we actually need to take time to create a new sense of normal. See, many times what we do is we try one practice, we meditate for a little bit, we breathe a little bit, we do some somatic practices, we do some tapping, we do some prayer, and in the moment, we feel good and go, oh, that was great, it worked. Then 5 seconds later, something triggers our thought and we go, oh no, nothing is working. That tool didn't work. And we begin to believe that the tool didn't work. And then what happens is we stop using any tools because we say, that didn't work. Just a one-off practice didn't work. I guess this is the state of being. Or we keep looking and searching for other tools to help create that anchored sense on the inside. But here's the thing, that practice, that experience of stress, anxiety, even trauma wired into our body, that happened over time. It happened over possibly years of rewiring a practice in your brain that we say neurons that fire together, they wire together. That means they create a little pathway in your brain. They keep it embodied in the body. The nervous system creates a pattern. The cells in our body have a memory and a moment of how something felt and how it should feel. What that means is that we have a felt sense in our brain, in our heart, in our body of how something feels. We might have a thought, oh no, what if this happens? And we have an automatic set of triggers that are hardwired into our system that suddenly go throw all of our tools out the window and we go, oh no, there goes that response and that reaction. And if you could remember this, a couple episodes ago, I talked about how I experienced stress and chaos as familiarity. And part of me actually liked that feeling on the inside. We can remember this piece that the nervous system, our brain, returns to what is familiar, not always what is true or even desired. So what that means is that stress can actually feel normal. Peace can actually feel unfamiliar. And what happens is our brain and our body learn through repetition and safety. They actually learn through emotional experience and repetition. And this is why having a traumatic experience, having a stressful experience, or just having a very heightened emotional experience gets embedded into that space, because it gets embedded in there as a heightened emotional experience, and our brain and body replay it over and over again until it becomes a felt sense that is so familiar. And so what is often happening, if we could hold this statement here lightly as well, because we know that we have a God who can heal all things. We also know that a lot of these tools will work if we work them correctly. But your body isn't actually resisting peace when we say, oh, it just stress came in and I just reacted, or it feels familiar to have anxiety or stress, something about it feels familiar. Your body isn't resisting peace. It's just that it's practiced survival a little bit longer. So, what that means is that the tools that we have in place, they named a bunch of them, but there are quite a few tools, but core tools that really actually help anchor in peace, and safety, and a sense of being grounded. What doesn't work is trying harder, trying to force a sense of calm, or powering through. That phrase particular kind of gets under my skin a little bit. If you know me longer, oh, I'm just going to power through. Powering through, my friends, just doesn't work. It creates a deeper ingrained sense that your feelings don't matter, that whatever you're experiencing doesn't matter, and we're just going to shut it down and press on. And trust me, by lived experience and working with hundreds of people, shutting those emotions down does not mean that they go away. They are still there. As the title of the book explains, one book is Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. And that's a pretty heavy statement to say. But here's the thing. We can invite God into those places. We can give him things. We can experience healing of our past experiences. We can orient in the present moment to help our body learn a new normal. And so anchoring into a sense of grounded peace and wholeness so that we can move forward, it's not about effort, but there is an element of repeated experiences of safety. When you think about that phrase that I mentioned, I love this picture of just putting your fingers together, that neurons that fire together, wire together. The more you think about, the more it's going to create a new pathway in your brain. The more you repeat an experience and a felt sense in your body, it's going to create a new sense of normal that happens. You begin to experience more felt sense of safety, more felt sense that moving forward is okay, that being in peace is okay. You start doing things consistently, the nervous system starts to say, oh, this is my new normal. This is a new place that I'm going to shift into. And the types of things that we need might be the tools that work. But what we might need to do with those tools is I might need to use them regularly. If you have tried breathwork or meditation or visualization or prayer or tapping or somatic work or any other tool that has really helped you and anchored you in, and you notice a shift, you notice, oh, I went from anxious to peace in that moment, what you might be able to do is create a rhythm of doing that more regularly. Insert that into your life in a regular way. Use discernment on how and where to integrate them and continue repeating consistently. Remember, repetition builds a new felt sense, a new sense of normal. It creates a new neural pathway and a new nervous system response. As you begin repeating that and intentionally creating a new normal, your nervous system starts to say, oh, that's stressful. I can respond out of peace. I can respond out of covenant. I can respond out of love. I can respond out of hope. Whatever you're wiring in intentionally is what you're going to experience regularly. And so when you're walking through that practice, you want to actually practice these things, integrate them in. When I first started practicing some of these tools, I literally set an alarm every 10 minutes to remind me to breathe intentionally. I did a very simple breath, slowed my breathing, said, thank you, God. And just by doing that practice, my nervous system began to heal. My body began to heal. My brain started connecting to Jesus with me all day long. And I started becoming more aware of peace in my body than I was around anxiety. And when I would feel anxiety, I would know exactly what to do because I had trained that practice and that response outside of the systems of stress. Part of the other problem is that we typically use the tools when we are stressed, when we are anxious, when we're experiencing a trigger. And one of the things I really want to encourage is looking at the tools in your current tool belt. Or if you need some extra tools, that's one of the reasons why I created the Peace Process or the Wholeness Meditation app, is to give you a breadth of extra tools to put in your tool belt. But I want to encourage whatever tool that you use, don't use it only when you're triggered, stressed, or feeling anxious. Use it regularly to create a new normal, a new system, a new nervous system response so that you keep bouncing back to peace. But you know what? If peace feels like it's hard to grasp and your body feels like it's a lot to learn, and I'm not sure how to step into that, I created a super simple 5-day peace practice that you can step into and just get started with some very simple practices that'll guide you in that. And you can keep doing that as long as you like. And you'll start to learn why maybe some of the tools that you have been doing will work and do work. Maybe you'll start to learn how to feel and embody and really experience peace in a whole new way so that you can begin walking in all that you have been called to walk in. So I bless you that may the God of peace fill you with his peace, and may you experience that